Chapter 3, Mishnah 7. The Mishnah defines the minimum size of an ohel. An ohel that is at least a tefach by a tefach and 1 tefach high, which is above kazais of a corpse, transmits tuma to items underneath it, and blocks tuma from spreading to the area above. The Mishnah explains how an ohel blocks tuma from spreading by using an example of an ohel underneath a house. In the Mishnah's case, a house has a covered ditch dug below its floor. This ditch serves as a sewer, allowing dirty water to drain out of the house. It has 2 openings, one inside the house into which the water is poured, and another outside the house, from where the water empties out into the street. The opening inside the house is generally kept closed, so that the foul smell from the sewage will not drift into the house. The Mishnah will discuss 3 cases involving the ditch, in which the law depends on the following factors: A, the width and height of the ditch; B, the size of the exit of the ditch; and C, the location of the corpse flesh. How does an ohel that is a tefach square and tefach high block tuma? For example, regarding a covered ditch that is beneath the house, and the height and width of the ditch is a tefach square, and its exit is also a tefach square, i.e. the outside opening of the ditch is at least 1 tefach by 1 tefach. The law is as follows: if there is tuma, i.e. a kazais of corpse flesh, inside the ditch beneath the house, the people and utensils in the house remain tahor, because the tuma is covered by an ohel, since its space is a tefach square by a tefach high, which blocks the tuma from spreading into the house above. Similarly, if there is tuma in the house, whatever is inside the ditch remains tahor, since the roof of the ditch forms an ohel that blocks the tuma from spreading into the ditch. The concept of the tuma will eventually come out does not apply here, because it is the way of the tuma to exit the house or ditch through its opening to the outside, and it is not the way of the tuma to enter the house or ditch through the opening between them. Since the house and the ditch each has its own exit, the tuma is not normally removed from the house into the ditch, or from the ditch into the house. If the height and width of the ditch is a tefach square, but its exit, i.e. from the ditch to the outside, is less than a tefach square, the law is as follows: if there is tuma, i.e. a kazais of corpse flesh inside the ditch, the people and utensils in the house become tameh. But if there is tuma in the house, whatever is inside the ditch remains tahor. In both of these cases, the roof of the ditch forms an ohel between the ditch and the house. Nevertheless, in the first case, where the corpse flesh is inside the ditch, the items in the house become tameh, because it is the way of the tuma to exit through the house, rather than through the opening from the ditch to the outside. The reason for this is that the opening from the ditch to the outside is too small to be an exit for the tuma. Therefore, the tuma spreads into the house through the opening between the ditch and the house. In the second case, where the corpse flesh is in the house, the tuma does not spread into the ditch, because it is not the way of the tuma to enter, i.e. since the corpse flesh will be removed from the house through a door or a window, and not by way of the ditch, the tuma does not enter the ditch. If the ditch is less than a tefach square, i.e. its height or width is less than a tefach, and its exit too is smaller than a tefach, the law is as follows: if there is tuma, i.e. kazais of corpse flesh inside the ditch, the contents of the house become tameh. Since the ditch is not large enough for its roof to be considered an ohel, its roof cannot block the tuma from spreading upward into the house. If there is tuma in the house, whatever is inside the ditch becomes tameh, since the ditch is considered to be part of the floor of the house. The Mishnah has taught that only a roof that covers a space of a tefach square and is the height of a tefach is considered an ohel. Until this point, the Mishnah discussed an example of a man-made ohel, i.e. a sewage ditch under a house. The Mishnah now discusses an ohel that is formed naturally or unintentionally. A hole in the ground that either has been hollowed out by water or sheratzim, or the ground was eaten away by salt in the ground, creating a hollow space. and so to a pile of large rocks that were placed in rows, unintentionally creating a space between them, and so to a stack of beams in which an opening was unintentionally created. All these are considered ohalim, and there is a tefach square with a height of 1 tefach of empty space. Thus, they transmit and block tuma, even though they were formed naturally or unintentionally. Rabbi Yehuda says any ohel that is not man-made is not considered an ohel. However, Rabbi Yehuda agrees that rock hollows formed by water and natural recesses in cliffs are considered ohalim.